fashion lovers, you're welcome to another tutorial. In today's edition, we are going to be learning how to make these simple beading styles on this dress. So if this is what you are interested in, kindly watch this video to the end. Let's get started. Alright, to start with, I first of all made a point. So from that point, I took out 4 cardinal lines away from the point. Do you understand? A point, then from the point, mark 4 cardinal lines that will meet each other at that point. Now we're going to be making use of an invisible thread. This is the most preferable thread for beading. Invisible thread, then beading needle, the tiniest of all. This is at about size 11 or so. There's another one that is size 12, and I also went ahead to use glass beads. Yeah. So to achieve this, I'll first off go ahead and thread my needle and give it a knot, and then cut off the excess so that it will be neat. Then I'll pass my needle from the inside of the cloth. Just watch closely to what I'm doing from the inside. Then I'll bring it at the front of the cloth, and I'll repeat the same thing again so that I can secure a knot and make sure that the needle is firm, the thread is firm. Alright, while doing this, please, my thread here was knotting itself. So to avoid your thread knotting itself, just try not to use so much thread, like too long of a thread. So I'll go ahead and pass this, and I'm passing it right at the middle point of that mark, the mark that is joining the 4 cardinal lines, the mark where the 4 cardinal lines are meeting. Alright, I'll go ahead and pick my beads. I use 5 strands of beads to achieve this. You could do more, you could do less. So I use 5 strands of beads. And now I'll be placing this bead on one of the lines. Do you understand? One of the lines. You know we made 4 cardinal lines, right? So I'll place this on one of the lines like this. Then from where the bead is stopping, I will bring it in from the end towards the center, still maintaining that center that was started. Do you understand? So I'll bring the needle in from where the bead is stopping towards the center. It's more like doing a back stitch. So I'll pick another bead, 5 strands, and I'll still repeat the same thing. I'm just trying to be so slow so that we can understand this at the first inside. So I'll pick another bead and I will repeat it, placing it on the line again. Do you see that these ones are directly opposite to each other? Do you understand? So from where the bead stop, I'll do a back stitch, and I'll bring the needle out to the midpoint, like from the midpoint. Yes, so I'll do a back stitch and I'll bring it towards that midpoint that I first started. So that's how I'm going to be doing this, and I'll do it over and over until I finish, until I exhaust all these lines that I have created. So this is what I am having. So I'll go ahead and still pick another strand of bead, and I'll pass it to the other side of the cardinal point so that I will now make it to be complete. So I went in with 5 strands of beads, and this is what I'm going to be having. Do you understand? So I'll go ahead and pick, and after picking, I will then place it on one of the cardinal lines. Do you get? This is the third one now that I'm doing. Do you see how it has formed? Then from the end of the needle, do a back stitch to come out towards the middle point where the bead started. Do you understand? So the reason why we are doing this is because you know that we are creating cardinal lines. So if you put it back to the needle, you can easily place it on any of the other lines. But if it's not on the needle, you're going to be mistaking it. Do you get? Your lines might not be straight and all of that. So I'll go ahead and do the last one. Then I'll do a back. So you see that the star now has been formed. Yeah, more like a star beading style or 4 cardinal points beading style. So from the end of the bead, go in. I will do a back stitch and let it come out towards the midpoint that we started from, towards the center. So this, I call this a star beading technique, giving it a star shape like that, or a 4 cardinal points beading technique. So whichever one Do you understand? So at this point now, I'll pass the needle inside because I'm done with this now. To secure it, I'll pass the needle inside and I'll still bring it up again and still pass it inside. Do you understand? So before we now continue with the next one. So this is what we have gotten on this first one. Do you see what it looks like? So I'll go ahead and still bring my needle out. Just the same thing we did on the first one. From the inside, bring the needle out at the middle point, the middle of that marking where those cardinal points are meeting each other. That's where I'll pass my needle. I'll go ahead and stitch it again, more like as if I'm stitching a dress, but I know I'm not stitching. I'm just trying to make sure that my needle and thread is firm and strong before I'll start picking the beads. So I'll go ahead and pick 5 strands of bead like that and like that. I'll now repeat exactly the same thing I did for the first one that I showed us. So place it on the lines like so. Then from where the needle is stopped, from where the bead is stopping, do a back stitch. Do a back stitch that will bring the needle out from the center where you first started. Do you understand? So I'll just do this. Just watch closely to see what I am doing. When you put your eyes so close on it, you're going to be understanding. So I'll be doing this one very slow, so that we can understand. Okay, because I don't want this video to be too long, and at the same time I don't want it to be too fast, so that you guys will not get what I did. These things are just simple, it's just simple. Beading is a simple technique actually, but the only thing is that it consumes a whole lot of time. Yeah, it's time consuming. But though this one is just a simple bead. If it were to be those star lines, I bet I'm not going to be doing this myself. But this is just so simple, and I thought to share it with you guys. Instead of having your plain bubu, materials, you can just go ahead and style it this way. So I'll go ahead and pass the needle. You get from the end of the bead, do a back stitch to pass it towards the center, and then pick another strand of beads and then continue. Please make sure you pick the same strand of bead. Like if you're using 5, make sure to use 5. If you're using 4, continue using 4 to the end of the tutorial so that it will be equal. Do you understand? So I'll go ahead and then I'll do a back stitch from the end of the bead to come out from the center. So that is basically how I was able to achieve this. This took me at about 2 hours, though I wasn't that consistent because I was at the point I'll leave it and do some other things, but I bet it just took me 2 hours and I had to complete this. So this is what I got. So I'll go ahead and do the rest off camera, and I'll go ahead and try fasten the rest up, and some of it I'll do off cam, and then I'll bring it in to show us. So guys, if you have watched to this part and you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe to this channel, comment on this video, and like this video. Also feel free to share. Yes, feel free to share so that you can watch it for later or save to watch for later. And to all my existing subscribers, you guys rock. I love you all. Thank you for the love and support that you've been giving. You are doing super well and I am super excited. All right, so I'll go ahead and keep on doing this fast, and I'll show us what we are achieving. Okay, at this point my thread got to be small, so I had to knot it. So I thought to share. So to knot this, you cut your thread out. Make sure to knot it more than 3 times. I think I did mine about 5 times or so. Make sure to knot it more than 3 times. You can choose to do this inside the clothes or at the front. So I did mine inside, and after knotting, you do well to cut off the thread. Then you can thread another one and then continue what you are doing.
Scissors snapping, cutting through fears. Every seam's a bridge between years. Mistakes unravel, but I sew them twice, turning the flaws into something.
So at this point, I'll go ahead and thread up tie my thread and do the rest offline. So this is what we have. Here comes the end of this video. Bye. See you in my next one.